In the news now is an article that we've all been worried about, and I've spoken about this in videos before. This is about the government considering more lockdown restrictions, and I said before that it'll be political suicide for the ruling party to impose more lockdown restrictions at this time. But you know, they have world powers calling on them to do all sorts of things. And at this stage, the president, as you know, is beholden to the United Nations as well as the World Health Organization. And it's going to be interesting to see, with an arrest warrant, apparent arrest warrant being put out for Ace Magashule, who is part of the anti-New World Order faction, how they're going to play out this game. A game it is indeed, and it's a game of cat and mouse. And this article is from Business Tech, and the headline reads, "Government looking at new lockdown restrictions for South Africa." But they're very careful in how they actually word this. And it says the South African government is considering reimposing several curbs. They call it curbs now, aimed at containing the coronavirus pandemic, as fears mount about a second wave of infections, according to three officials familiar with the situation. So there's three officials that's familiar. This means it could be anybody. The newspapers lie about things like this. They've done it many times in the past, and I was directly involved and actually knew about many occasions like that. The option of reintroducing the restrictions is likely to be on the table when the National Coronavirus Command Council meets this week. Just remember, this Command Council is not a council of medical experts anymore. In fact, they haven't even made known who is on this council. The old council were given a boot, and now it's a bunch of behavioral experts. So people that look at how we behave as human beings. That is our Coronavirus Command Council, a complete and utter farce. Okay, these officials obviously said that this is on the table now, more restrictions, and they spoke on condition of anonymity because the information hasn't been made public. Now, these are normal catchphrases they put out when any idiot contacted them with information. Okay, so they try and make it sound like this person knows what they're talking about. It doesn't mean that that is the case. South Africa introduced one of the world's most stringent lockdowns on March 27th and progressively eased it to restart the economy as the number of new virus cases declined. The trend has reversed in several areas over recent weeks, with the Eastern Cape province in particular showing an alarming rise in infections, and the authorities have voiced concerns that the public is failing to exercise sufficient caution. Now, they don't specify what the infections is or what they actually accurately use to test and verify that it's a SARS-CoV-2 infection, because we know that they cannot test for this at this stage. They can only test for a portion of the RNA of a coronavirus, not for a novel virus at all. So this is utter lies, and these people don't even understand how much they lie. Then I quote, "When we fail to wear a mask at a social gathering," and this is according to Cyril Ramaphosa, "when we fail to wear a mask at a social gathering, when we attend crowded events, we are not only putting ourselves and others at risk," President Cyril Ramaphosa wrote in his weekly newsletter published on Monday, and I continue the quote, "We are also putting our economic recovery in jeopardy." So what they're doing here is they're fear-mongering you, saying that you're putting other people at risk as well as the economic recovery. So they're saying that you're going to be punished economically if you do not do what we say. And they've given you zero evidence for why they are doing this to you. Nothing. I still want to see their evidence. And not something reported in the media by the World Health Organization. I mean concrete scientific evidence. Of the 737, 278 people diagnosed with a disease, which is utter rubbish. You cannot diagnose someone with a disease without knowing what the disease is to begin with. In the country so far, more than 90% have recovered, while 19,089 have died, according to the Health Department data. And we know that data is not only inaccurate, it is wrong. There's a lot of fraud taking place, and I've proven this through medical documents that I've received from people whose family have passed on from what they called COVID-19 when the family said it was all but, as well as the paramedics, etc. The National Coronavirus Command Council will consider inputs from a range of experts when it meets this week, because they are not experts, okay? They are there to control our behavior. And its recommendations will be presented to the Cabinet on the 13th of November. Minister in the Presidency, Jackson Mthembu, said Ramaphosa will then address the nation on the way forward later this week. He told reporters on the 5th of November. Now Ramaphosa has just been moving on the speech, moving on. We're in the third week now of him speaking to the public, after he told the press corps that he will be speaking to us later in that week. The pandemic resurgence is posing a challenge for the country's independent electoral commission, which is holding by-elections in 95 municipal wards, where councillors have died or resigned. This all happened yesterday. All voting is suspended for the past 7 months. Stringent health protocols will be put in place and lines of voters will be spread out, say Mama Bolo. The Commission's Chief Executive Officer told reporters on Monday special votes will be cast on Tuesday, including several that are being held at COVID-19 isolation facilities. So what we have here is people leaking information to the media, and they're trying to make out as if they are officials or someone important or someone that knows, that's not allowed to leak the information. When it gets to the mainstream media, it is deliberately leaked. Okay, it's to try and get us to comply, and this has been the same script now for a very, very long time, and a script I'm quite frankly quite sick of. I want the government to show me evidence for the virus, as well as the fact that that virus, if it's novel, that it causes the disease they call COVID-19. And I want them to tell me how they can test for the disease. They must please explain this to me, because they keep on speaking about this in the media. The president keeps on speaking about this, and in court I will rip them to shreds based on that. That's very easy, because it's scientifically not only inaccurate, it's utter rubbish, and the rubbish needs to stop. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon if you want notifications, and I'll keep you updated as to the path forward with regards to more lockdowns in this year. So the fact that they aren't calling it the normal regulations or laws, which it's not, they now call it several curbs. It's curbs now. They're going to curb us. It sounds a bit more round than just a immediate square, you know, where you just take something away. Very clever language, but I don't fall for it. Thank you very much. Till the next video.